Yo, welcome to the Oddity Report. It's the Oddity Report, Telegram Network, telegram.com. This is the Oddity Report. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Dnota, joined by my illustrious co-host,
Dua.
Dua, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
Listen, so you know I bought a new plant today, right?
Yes, I heard.
What did you think of it?
It's beautiful.
It's like I think the name of the plant is like Puerto Rican bird song, something like that.
Bird of paradise.
Bird of paradise. That was going to be my second guess, but it's a beautiful plant.
I agree. It's leafy. It's big. It's gonna grow up to be like 6 feet tall when it's all grown up.
Yeah, but you know, it's crazy because the reason why I even ended up getting this plant in the first place is because I had a previous plant.
What happened?
The plant didn't really like. It committed. It basically
What?
it unalived itself.
Oh my God! How?
So
What
listen,
happened?
I bought this plant. It was called a Chinese fan plant. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Right. I had it center stage, if you will,
Right.
in terms of the presentation. Meaning, as soon as you walk in to the abode, it is just prominent, or was rather,
Got it.
because it. But so, and it was just so beautiful. I had this, light, grow light that's designed specifically to help plants. You know what I mean? Like get
Flourish.
all of the exactly to flourish. So I had it there for like 3 days. Before I began to notice a shift in its appearance.
What kind of shift?
So the bottom portion of the plant began to like turn brown and crispy.
Oh no.
Now, I was concerned that perhaps, it wasn't getting enough water. But then when I added water, it actually made the situation worse.
Oh my goodness.
So ultimately, I did a little bit of research, basically a YouTube that
University of YouTube.
Yeah, University of YouTube. And basically, like what I've learned is that it cannot have direct light.
Oh, so you were scorching it.
I was scorching it, right? And plants is one of those things where like you really have to take the time out to get to know the plant.
You do. And it speaks to you. It communicates,
100%.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because you think about plants when you go first buy them. And you and I, we spoke on this before, and you made some interesting points about how it's, presented inside of the store.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
I was telling him that it's coming from the most optimal environment, right? The best humidity, the best light, the best watering conditions. And then you take it home and, wherever you are. So up in the Northeast, we're in the winter. So it's heating season. So houses and apartments are drier. The heat is on.
Okay.
Your fluorescent lights are happening. We don't have as much daylight. So the plants struggle to adjust, right?
Yeah.
They go from optimal, they go from paradise to someone else's paradise.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't make it through that adjustment period.
And that's what I think in part is the reason why the Chinese fan plant didn't work out so well. Now I'm more optimistic about this plant now, the Puerto Rican bird song, because like
Bird of paradise, Dnota.
that too, because I feel like now it's going to be able to withstand that the intensity of the light. Even though now I'm concerned because it recommended on the the care instructions that the plant came with, it says it needs moderate light.
Moderate light.
But then according to Professor YouTube, it suggested that I could do a lot of light, bright light.
So this is confusing now.
Which
one is it?
I'm not really sure. It may be a little bit of a touch and go. Like perhaps the way I put the plant need to be mindful of making sure that they get adequate amount of light, but the light doesn't have to be too close in proximity because it could physically scorch it.
Right, like what happened to your previous.
Exactly. And then the other thing is just the amount of light, again, just may not be conducive to this species of plant.
Right.
So I have to do a balance and,
it's a dance. Yeah.
It's a dance. But my thing is, I expect when I bring the plant home from the store that perhaps it will require minimum amount of care, at least for the first month. I shouldn't have to water it or feed it.
For the first month?
I mean, I just bought the damn thing. Can we get to know each other a little bit before I'm obliged?
I understand. But the thing about plants is that they bring you so much joy when they're doing well.
That is true.
And when they're not doing well, they break your heart.
It's crazy because you think about plants in terms of like just looking at the beauty, appreciating the beauty. But I was reading how there are different plants that could evoke different types of positive moods, if you will.
Really? Tell us more.
I mean, I'm not an expert in it yet.
Yet.
But what I've learned so far is that there are certain types of plants that, like, for example, the Chinese fan plant, one of the benefits is that it helps with decreasing, feelings of depression and anxiety. And it's interesting because I would literally just sit there and watch the plant.
Oh, Dnota.
So, again, I can't give you a scientific opinion in terms of whether or not it in fact does that, but I would definitely say that it made a meaningful contribution in a more positive way. And I'm generally positive. So that really, but you can notice whenever something is adding an additional benefit. And I would certainly say during the time that it was thriving for these several days, I felt good.
Aww.
But then when I started to notice that shift, I was starting to think all right, is there something I could do, number one, to arrest the situation so that way it doesn't continue to deteriorate? But that didn't happen. It continued to deteriorate.
Oh.
And then it's like dead smack right there in a prominent location where you can't avoid it.
Right. Because it was a thing of beauty once upon a time.
Exactly. And then when it starts losing its luster and losing its glow, it's like,
ouch.
I don't want to throw the plant away.
Right.
Because I felt like perhaps I'll be abandoning or giving up on my baby, right?
I understand.
But the other part is, well, we can't, that can't be the first thing we see when we come in.
No. Right?
So I was doing a couple of maneuvers to try and obfuscate it, make it where, look, the plant is there. There were a few parts of the plant that was okay.
Okay.
But it was most of the plant was not okay. So I was trying to,
shift.
Yeah, put it
position.
in, almost like using Instagram techniques. The games everybody play on Instagram.
Right.
And I was like, this isn't going to work. So I ultimately decided that I just took it back to the store.
Really?
Yeah, I retained the receipt. And
wait a minute. They took it back?
Yeah, they took it back. I mean, I would name the store. It's a great store. And maybe in the future, if we can make a appropriate arrangement, we'll be mentioning their store. But it's a store. I like it. They got beautiful plants and an assortment of other items.
Okay.
But they took it back. I had the receipt.
That's amazing.
And actually, she started complaining to me meaning the cashier, about how people act funny during tax time. They don't want to come to work. Oh, that's what she said.
You're kidding.
I'm serious, but it's true. It's like you would think, and we had a brief exchange in that regard, but it was like you would think, okay, it's tax season, right? You can use that money if you get in a return, because not everybody is getting it.
Right.
But many people are.
Right.
And to the extent that you get it, it's like you should use that to enhance your safety net.
Right.
Or your investments, right? Thinking, down the line.
Not knock off work. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because you know how fast money goes when you ain't got nothing coming in.
Right. It's true.
So I think it's important for anyone out there, if you're going to get, the benefits of a return, good for you. We're cheering for you. We'll send you the cash app.
That's right.
But no, all jokes aside, don't go taking that money and squandering it.
Yeah.
Putting it right back into the hands of these big businesses that don't give a heck if you live or you unalive.
Right.
Screw it if you die.
Right. It's true. I mean, here's the thing. You just have a plan. If you want to set aside a couple of dollars for fun money and be responsible for the rest, but don't blow the whole thing.
No, don't blow the whole thing. If anything, you should make an allocation.
Yes.
Right? Say, look, of this amount, let's say of $1,000, you can get absolutely reckless with perhaps 200, and then meticulously, apportion the remaining to things that can add value.
Right. Exactly.
To your life.
Yes.
And not just squander it.
Exactly. Don't get happy and just lose your mind.
I mean, because look, you go out and buy an expensive item. Let's just throw a name out there. Fucci. You go buy some Fucci, right?
Some Fucci.
And it's a beautiful Fucci, I don't know what, shirt. How many times you going to wear it?
Right. And you know what else? That happiness that you get is minimal. You get over it and then you're on to the next.
Let me tell you a trick that I learned.
Tell us.
And it's a good way in which to think about your money, right? Because businesses, you got to keep in mind, it is a vicious competition out there in terms of companies vying for position, jockeying for position.
For your dollars.
So one of the things that I've learned is that when you get paid, I want you to go to the mall.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And when you go to the mall, I want you to just go look at your check and go to the stores and look at different items.
Okay, I'm following slowly.
Right? And look at items. And I want you to go there, and I should have started with this at the onset, but go there with the intention that you're not going to buy anything.
Okay. Now I'm really following.
Yeah, don't buy anything. And you have to resolve that. Look, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go look, but I'm not going to buy anything.
With your check in your hand is what you're saying?
With your check in your hand. Oh, okay. Just go there after you got paid, meaning you have this money. It's readily available to you. Yes.
Gotcha.
But I want you to go and you have to be, again, of the mind that I'm not purchasing anything. And I want you to go look at different things. And I want you to be empowered by the idea that you have the capacity, you have the ability, you have the means that you can buy whatever it is that you want. And that you're choosing not to.
Right.
Try that. And then when you come back and maybe share your experiences in the comment section.
Yes, do share.
But I'm going to tell you, if you try this for at least a good 6 months, you can maybe, again, do it on a bi-weekly basis, whether it's the mall. But I want you to be empowered by this idea, just shifting the mindset where you're going from a consumer mindset to one of a builder, that you're going to build a better future with the resources that you are fortunate to amass today.
I like that, Dnota.
And I just throw it away. Builder. Yeah, I mean, look, these companies don't care about us, and we have to care about each other. So I want to share these tidbits moving forward. I think it'd be helpful. Just some of the things that I've learned. But back to this plant situation.
Yes,
so
back to the plants.
My I guess that, and I'm gonna give this plant a good 6 weeks.
Okay, fair.
To really closely monitor it, because I don't want to rehash what I just recently experienced. Right. But it was a beautiful, beautiful plant, and to see my Chinese fan plant just weather away in the way in which it did, and I really, really felt bad.
I understand.
But
I've been there.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something. Now, when I went to the store and I changed the plant, I was actually going to purchase the same plant.
Oh.
If provided they had it.
Okay. Did they have it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
They got, and now it's winter, so they got a very, they're their lean selection right now. And I think it's going to start revving up, when we start getting to February, March.
Right. Springtime.
Yes. What are some of your plants, Dua? What are some of the plants that you think about in terms of, you look at it, it makes you feel a certain way, or you think back to a particular memory, to an experience, and one that is uplifting and cheerful?
My favorite plant, and it's actually the easiest plant you can ever get, is pothos.
Pothos. Yeah, yes. You gave me one of those.
I did. And I gave it to you because I feel like it's very hard to kill.
Okay.
And when it's doing well, it's just a burst of activity, and it has tendrils.
Oh.
And so
that's what it's called.
Right. And then when you get that hang time, when it starts to hang over the pot, I mean, the joy, especially when the light is bouncing off of those green leaves. And if you have a variated pothos, meaning it has some kind of like, it's not a solid green leaf. There's like, gold or different colors in it.
Oh, like different marble shades.
Exactly. Marble shades. It's just gorgeous. And, it just does well. If you live in, like I said, the Northeast, where you experience 4 seasons, it does well in all 4 seasons. And I have three.
Are they all the same species?
2 of them are.
Okay.
And one of them is a marble.
Gotcha.
The 2 are variated, and the third is a marble. The marble is doing and the other 2 are doing really well. And what else is really cool about them is depending on the kind of light it gets, the leaves can get huge.
Oh, wow.
And it just brings me so much joy, especially when, let's say I'm not particularly paying attention to it for a week, and to come back and look and see the growth, nothing makes me happier. So the pothos, hands down, is my favorite.
Now, let me ask you. So you say you have 3 right now.
Yes.
And so these 3, what is the first time that you've ever purchased them, or you've purchased them before and you had a few hiccups, and like this is like the outgrowth of a learning curve?
I've purchased the kind of combination. I've purchased maybe 2, and there's a big mama plant.
Okay.
I live in a building. There's a mama plant in the hallway, and sometimes I snip.
What? You're a plant? What?
I snip to propagate, and I've given some to my sister. I gave you some to add to your current pothos to just fill it out a bit. And that's another thing about them. They're so easy to propagate, and then you can get a whole new plant.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
So, all right, and so you have the pothos.
Yes.
What else? Now you have this big, oversized. It's a gorgeous plant. Yeah, and so it has these leaves, and it looks like somebody took a razor and meticulously carved out like these different shapes, like just different like patterns of lines. And
yes.
Is that the case? Like, is that how that plant was, or is it in its natural state? What is the name of it?
It's called a monstera, and some people call it
monstera.
some people call it a Swiss cheese plant.
Okay.
Basically
Yours is huge.
Yeah, that was another. I've been pretty lucky where I'm part of like community Facebook pages or Buy Nothing pages, and every once in a while someone will give away a plant.
Okay.
And I always raise my hand. That particular one, that huge one.
You never give me none of them damn plants.
Come on, I've given you.
But keep going. Don't get sidetracked.
Money plant, remember? That was from a Buy Nothing group. Anyway, so
not the Chinese money.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the tree I bought from one of the spots near you. But you gave me
I gave you the small one. Remember?
Yeah, you did give me the small one.
You see how he's
the
not
very
even giving
tiny
me credit?
one that I've grown.
He did a really good job. This little guy was so tiny. I gave it to him, and now it's like a full blown adult. He had a little snafu. Remember that one? But
yeah, but I don't want to talk about it.
Anyway. So with this particular huge monstera plant,
yeah, it's huge.
A neighbor was giving away most of his plants. The plants that
I want to go into the monstera business with you, Dua. But keep going.
I don't know if
about.
I'll let you touch my monstera because that's not no offense.
Oh wow,
your track record.
I'm gonna propagate your plant.
Anyway, this particular neighbor was getting a pet. And he was giving away all the plants that were poisonous to plants. So when I went, he had sent pictures. There's like a building WhatsApp group. He sent pictures.
See, I don't know if I could do that. Like, look.
What do you mean?
In terms of like what you just said, right? Because I know that wasn't necessarily part of what we were talking about, but it's an interesting departure because you just said that he gave up the plant to accommodate a cat.
Yes, matter of fact, when I went to get it.
Wait, I want to make sure, and I'm gonna let you get back to it, but I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this correctly. So he gave up this beautiful monster-sized monstera,
guys, is huge
for a cat.
Yes.
Was it like cootie cat?
No, it was an actual.
Like that. All right, like a plant. You give me, all right, maybe that's understandable, but like a real meow?
An animal, a meow meow.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And when I got there, I saw it. I was like, are you sure? This is a gorgeous plant.
You tried to talk him out of it?
I did because I just felt like, is he really giving up this amazing, humongous. I mean, the perfectly healthy, super, super green leaves. Are you going to give it away? So I said, are you sure? I said it twice. He goes, yeah, I get a cat. He told me the species of the cat. I'm not really into cats. So it went in one ear and out the other. He goes, yeah, I get to have this XYZ cat in return. I said, okay.
None, but I think that ultimately, he must really. So this is his first time having a cat? Or
Yes, he doesn't currently have any pets.
he's
Yeah,
changing his whole life.
he is. Yeah, I mean, his apartment was also really nice. Rugs on the ground, and I'm like, you're gonna get a cat that's gonna. Anyway, I'm not to offend cat lovers, but that was what he wanted to do.
Okay.
And I got to benefit from.
Gotcha. It's interesting, right? Because you think about, on one hand, like people who like plants, and then people who like pets, right? And the fact that there are instances where you cannot have them both.
Right.
You have to choose either or.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to think like what his process was in being able to resolve that. You know what? I'm going to say the heck with this plant.
I know. And I guess to your point, I couldn't understand it because it was such a beautiful plant. And for him, it seemed like it was an easy decision. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure.
But you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out well with the cat, he can always buy another plant.
That's right, because he's not getting it back.
I was just about to ask you that.
He's not getting it back.
Nope. I mean, did you sign some type of agreement? Like, did he pass some type of proof that he gave you this item?
Nope.
So he just gave you the plant.
I mean, the only thing that could tie me back to the plant was I did respond in the group chat that I was. So I guess that's kind of like your paper trail. But
no, I know it's yours, but that's not what I'm getting at. But
What
just in terms of like, if he comes to you and says, "Look, the cat expired.
Oh no!
I would like the plant back. It would help me get over the emotional upheaval that I'm feeling as a result of having lost my cat." Would you, as a good-hearted person, give him the Monstera plant back, or would you, as a villain, say no?
You know what? I would go the middle route. I would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Have you considered therapy for your grief?"
What?
Yes.
That is crass.
I wouldn't even mention the plant.
But what if he said to you? I'm saying that he says to you, "Look, I just ding dong. Hello, yes, I'm. Who are you? Oh, it's your neighbor." And Dua goes to the peephole. Oh, okay. Opens the door. Hey, what's the problem? Yes, I had a demise in my family. My beloved cat is no longer with us. That beautiful Monstera plant would sure help me to feel better. Dua says,
"Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I got to run."
Wow.
I'm sorry. He's not getting it back. Like I said, I asked him twice. Are you sure? Are you sure?
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
And he said, yes, I get a cat.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Listen, I need to know, like, as many comments as possible. Tell me how many of y'all is giving the plant back. If someone gave you a plant and they came back later and asked you for it. Write in the comments. Tell me, are you giving the plant back?
And tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't think I'm wrong.
And on that note, listen, we look forward to seeing y'all again next week. Stay strong. This is the Oddity Report. I'm your host, Dnota.
Dua.
Next week, y'all. Peace.